Hi everyone, welcome back. Today's episode we're actually going to be doing goal setting, and we're going to be talking about my 2025 spiritual goals. And the reason why we're doing that is because I realized last year I was just winging it and I needed a bit of a compass. I needed some accountability. I needed somewhere to refer back to and see how am I doing, what's going on. And I think the best way to do that is to set some goals. So we're going to be talking through 5 spiritual goals that I have for this year. And it sounds like a lot, but you'll see some of them are they low-hanging fruit. They things I'm supposed to just do as a Christian every day, right? It's just now trying to start these habits and instill them into my lifestyle, basically. And the one thing to note with goal setting is that, firstly, you need to regularly check your goals. Secondly, you need to always make sure that you recalibrate, you go back. If you are missing something or something's not going well, you go back, you fix it. Even if you're fixing it monthly, quarterly, whatever works for you. You don't now say this goal is not working, so I'll see it next year. No. You have the rest of the year, you have the rest of your life, depending on how you look at it, to fix whatever's not working. So don't condemn yourself and treat goals as this thing that like cages you and restricts you, but they're actually supposed to enable you to adopt healthier habits, to do things that you've always wanted to do, to make your vision come to life and whatever God has put in your heart. So my first goal is related to prayer. So I want to actually start delving deeper into understanding the point of prayer. And the reason why I want to do this is because I feel like the reason why I don't pray and I don't fast as intentionally, I want to say vigorously and all of these things, but I think it's just as intentionally and as consistently, is because I actually don't understand the point and the power of prayer in the Bible. So how am I going to do this? One way for me to start doing something is to learn about it. I'm convinced that the reason why certain areas of our lives are not working out, or we're not implementing, or we're not convicted, is because we don't have the knowledge. We're ignorant in that area. So we're going to start with creating a prayer series after the Faith and Finances series, hopefully. And basically a series that's going to help me understand what is prayer, what people in the Bible prayed, and how did prayer impact their stories in the Bible. What's the deal with pairing prayer and fasting? Why did Jesus pray? And how did he do it, and how can I start regularly doing it in my life? So I'm convinced that once I do that, I'll be able to be a bit more consistent in prayer and be a bit more convicted in doing it. And when am I going to do this? Hopefully like around end of March. There's a lot of things going on in my life. I'm not setting fixed starting points for these goals, because I also don't want them to be like only at the beginning of the year can I do it. If I'm doing it in April, that's fine. I just need to start, and I'll probably do it like one goal at a time, so they won't all start at the same time. They'll kind of like, once I get the hang of this one, I'll start another one. So I'm trying it as much as possible to not be rigid. Okay, the second one is I want to be intentional with Bible study at least 3 times a week. And why do I want to do this? Because I just want to spend unhurried time with the Lord. I want to just feel that intimate, close relationship, have conversations with the Lord, sit in his presence and wait to hear what he has to say. A lot of the times we'll read a passage, even if you're taking 30 minutes, unpack it, pray quickly, and then you're out the door. And I just want to sit in the presence of the Lord and be like, and soak up him, his person and his word and his mysteries and his wisdom and his power. Can you imagine? Like, I just want to sit in the presence of the Lord. And and just understand his word, like I want to delve deeper into the word. I want to be reminded of things, because also like there's a lot in the word of God, and you tend to read and forget and not apply and not obey. And I want to start being a lot more practical in applying some of the principles that I'm learning. And also, Bible study is just like a major part of Revive Conversations. I can't just sit here and talk to you about random things. Like, I need to do a lot of Bible study to make our time together fruitful. So how I plan to do this is 3 times a week I have a Bible study session that's at least an hour. And then I want to keep a habit tracker. And I want this to be like a continuous habit. So I've started doing it. So this week I've done Bible study once, and it's Thursday. So I need to do like Bible study again at some point, maybe Friday and Sunday or something like that, to even it out. Okay, the third goal is to speak to one person about Christ per week. This is, I was going to say by far the most challenging, but I have the fourth one is also just equally as challenging. But this is going to be a very challenging goal because I've been scared or intimidated. So, but the reason why I want to spread or share the gospel with one person per week is because we've been called to share the gospel. The command was for us to go out there and share the gospel with every nation and anyone who's going to listen. And only when everyone has heard the gospel is when Jesus Christ is going to come back. So we need to expedite the process by sharing the gospel. Right? We keep saying, Jesus, come back. But like, you're the reason why he's not back. You're not sharing the gospel. If you had to say like, what's my purpose as a Christian? Your purpose is to share the good news about Jesus Christ. That's the whole point. Okay. And then the fourth one, that's probably going to be the most challenging for me, is to find a mentor to be accountable to, or a partner. It doesn't have to be a mentor, but I think ideally it should be. But even if it's like an accountability partner, someone who is deep in the word, someone who is already living out a Christian lifestyle, someone who has sound doctrine, and someone I look up to, and someone that can guide and pour into me and scold me, rebuke me when necessary. But I need someone to hold me accountable, basically. I don't want to have the leeway to mess up and not be held accountable by anyone. And preferably not a friend, not a family member. It could be, but I think someone who's unbiased and who I can have like a healthy, respectful relationship with. So how I plan to do this is, firstly, I need to identify 1 or 2 areas that require intervention, that require accountability, that require help, basically, in my spiritual walk or in my life. And from that, make a list of 3 people that I think would be a good mentor, a good partner to walk the spiritual life with, and then have a coffee date with them. Almost like we vet each other and we see if the relationship would work. I also think I should have some sort of criteria for what we expect from the relationship, what I expect them to be like. So just be clear about all of those things, so I know when I'm looking, I'm not just picking the first person that seems nice or seems, like, I don't want someone who's like, being nice is not a problem, but I also need someone who's going to be firm, who's going to be truthful, who's going to have discernment and not be scared to point things out and offend me and all of those things. And then I want to have monthly check-ins with this person. So I want us to set some goals within the relationship. I strongly believe in relationships that have a point. Like, I have a hard time just like interacting with people and we don't know where we're going. We don't know what this is about. Like, even friendships, if I don't know what we're doing, it just is hard for me to sustain that. Like, we need to have a goal. We need to have a point. I need to know what, like, we need to be tracking something. We need to have action items. Like, something, and it doesn't have to be formal. With friendships, obviously it doesn't have to be that formal. Oh, my camera is overheating. But it also doesn't have to like not have direction. And then, when I want to start this, I think sometime this year, probably June or July, I'll start vetting and looking for someone. And then the last one, I hope I can make it. The last one is I want to observe the Sabbath at least 3 times a month. Or maybe I can even say twice. So I've been having a difficult time resting. Like, I've been overworking, hustling, and idolizing my own efforts almost, and idolizing my thinking that I work hard and I get things done and all of these things. And I just want to trust the Lord, right? I want to approach work and business and life from a point of grace, not from a point of works. So I think I just need to observe the Sabbath. One course I was doing at church, and the pastor once said that the Sabbath is the one way to experience the Lord's grace, because you just need to come as you are. It's not about your accolades. It's not about what you're doing during the week. It's not about how you perform even in the house. You just come and He just expects you to sit there. Like, how glorious is that? So how do I want to do it? I want to pick a day where I'm going to do this, maybe like a Friday evening. And then I want to find 2 things that I can do that will bring me rest, but 2 things that I can do that will actually recharge me. So there's a difference between like resting and being recharged. You can rest and not pour into yourself. So I also want to do things that will pour into me, and whether it's a hobby or reading a book or reading the Bible, whatever it is, and practice those things during the Sabbath. But it's also a time of deep prayer and deep focus on the Lord. And then I also want to keep a habit tracker for all of these goals. I want to keep a habit tracker to see, am I actually doing what I need to do when I said I would do it? And then this also needs to just be a continuous habit from Jan. I actually took a week off work because I was sick and I was not healing. And the Lord convicted me that firstly, I was supposed to be fasting and I was not. And I think that's why I got sick. But secondly, I haven't been resting and my body is just tired. I think I'm burnt out. And that's why the Lord actually commands us to rest. But basically, those are my 5 spiritual goals. I would like to challenge everyone to look at, what goals you can set for your spiritual life, and look at what you can do to meet those goals. How I did was I identified what the goal was. I said why I wanted to set that goal, how I'm going to do it, and when I'm going to do it. And I think that helps with having a blueprint, firstly, of how to achieve the goal, but also knowing how to keep yourself accountable and how to monitor and measure if you're doing well with the goal. But I hope this episode was good. It blessed you. I don't know. I hope you enjoyed the episode. And thanks for joining. If you're wondering how to stay consistent with your goals, you can check out this video here where we talk all things consistency. And you can also check out this series over here where we are unpacking everything related to God's character, basically. But thanks for joining, and see you guys in the next episode.